There's some SQL calls you can make, the BigQuery API, command line. There's a couple other ways to do it. We see this quite a bit. I've actually seen it quite a bit more past couple of weeks. I've actually had a couple of customers mention to me that if they're running like Airflow, then what they'll do is one of the first tasks in their Airflow DAG is, I want to increase my reservation size. My next couple of tasks are going to talk to BigQuery. I'm just going to raise up the max to 1,000 slots, 2,000 slots, then run my job, which may be ML workloads, some ELT or ETL, maybe some analytics workloads. And when they're done, they'll just drop it back down to 200 slots or whatever they need for their normal usage with the baseline of 0. It's just a way to scale up for is needed and then scale back down. It used to be you could change it every 30 minutes. I'm not sure if they have changed that number or not, but it used to be you could only do this once every 30 minutes. That number may have changed. I have to double check the documentation to see, but there may be a limit they've added in or changed. But you can definitely change it. We have some customers that have certain times throughout the day where they have their analysts are logging on from 9 to 5 or 8 to 6 or something, where they'll log in as they want to increase those workloads or increase the slots available during that time. Then when they log off, they drop it back down. So we see that pretty often where they'll do like a cloud function that's on a sort of cron routine that runs and changes based on the time of day. Or we have customers that may run a lot of ETL jobs from like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. They'll run the same sort of thing and up the reservations pretty significantly for them to run their ETL jobs for 2 hours a day, then drop it back down. So it's actually a very common thing to do is to change the size of your reservations to accommodate large workloads, but then keep it low because you might have a product that runs and hits those things intermittently throughout that time as well. It also goes along with what we were stressing earlier to make sure you break your workloads up and put those in where they need to be. You can also increase those sizes as needed, just in case you're in the process of doing that, or you may have something else that runs during those times on those reservations. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing to do. And we highly recommend doing that in the right size, and maybe right sizing for the time being is needed as well. And then I know there's other suggestions to handle that. I'll let everybody else chime in, but that's the biggest one we see. So I'll pass it on to Glenn and Matt for anything else they've seen on that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of EMEA customers use things like cloud functions again to manage a similar setting. But yeah, I've seen variations, like you say, composer DAGs, where they automatically tweak based on ETL jobs, as you mentioned. And I've seen people use tools like DataForm as well, and even DBT as well, to manage slot reservations in different areas as well. So yeah, a lot of our customers in EMEA are very creative with different methods. But as you say, you've got the command line as well to also do that. And yeah, and you can change it on a very regular basis.
Yep.
I shared an article in the chat. Sorry, Glenn. I shared an article that I walked through how to do this with DataForm. One of our other BigQuery specialists wrote. If someone's interested. Glenn, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just adding to that. There's just plenty of access methods to be able to change those reservations, including the programming client libraries like Python and Java and so forth. I added a link to that as well, because just like what Matthew said, people do things like Airflow and Cloud Composer using Python to be able to change those reservation settings. So lots of access in a multitude of different ways, so lots of options.